The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday week. My name is Dan Fudge, and with me tonight we've got Simon, Blair, Jon, and Vic's decided to join us this time this season because I kept recording on a night where she's at a quiz. Are you winning, Vic, by the way?
At the quiz? No.
Yeah. Oh, no. I tell you what, we're great at quizzes and all. You should have us on. Various topics.
Your quizzes. I like your quizzes, but we found a new one at the Hillsborough Tap on a Wednesday. Don't book on because it's full. But the other week we went to the Northern Monkey on a Wednesday and we came second.
Do you prefer that one?
There was only two teams. So we tend to go for the Hillsborough Tap now because there's more people. You know, you feel like you're getting out a bit, don't you?
So hang on, you came second in a two-team race?
Yeah, but right. That's all right.
That's like Pochettino coming second with PSG in a one-horse race in French League 1. You know what I mean? Like,
I tried really hard.
Well, anyway, how's it going? So, Si, how was your week? You all right, pal?
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds mint.
Let's not talk about my week so far.
Blair, I've noticed you've not got a child with you today. Does that mean it's in bed?
Yeah, they're both asleep. Get in.
Does that mean you're on the swills now or what?
I am. I'm on a vodka orange.
Well, lovely stuff. And what about you, Jon? That's a snazzy shirt for a Tuesday night. Have you put it on specially for us?
Yeah, we had office meeting earlier, so I can't, too lazy to get changed, so I just left it on. Yeah, so.
Fair enough. I had a 2-hour nap when I got back from work. Didn't know what day it was when I woke up. Got no in house. Any road. So the reason I'm padding as much as this, ladies and gents, is that the Lincoln game happened at the weekend, and it wasn't the result that we expected nor wanted. I'm just going to check my notes, kids. Oh, you absolute clown! Stevie got the prediction right. So all that what's known as bath maths have all kicked off, and he's now studying the form and he knows what's happening. Now I'll come to you, Simon, to start with. Not a barnstormer of a game, was it?
Right. Okay. Game of two halves. I hate Lincoln. Really do. I really do. We get out this league. And
did you not go to Skegness that weekend?
No, I didn't. No, we went to Gainsborough for breakfast. Great.
Oh, lovely.
I know. 1 o'clock kickoff, which always I think ruins the atmosphere. Apparently down to crowd issues from last year. First half, an early goal. Gregory, bit of a cock up at the back, I would say, from their keeper. Great finish from Gregory, nice and cool as you like. And then we battered them for 45 minutes, but didn't score. Ron cleared off the line. We missed countless opportunities, and they were nowhere. Lincoln were nowhere at all. The best thing was their fans, to be honest. Fantastic outs on Wednesday all the way through for 90 minutes. And then second half, got the equaliser in 58 seconds at second half. And we turned to dog shit, I think. and I know there are certain people out there on Twitter who've sort of taken the moral high ground and said, well, this time last year we lost against them. But it really felt like a loss to me because we were far better side in first half and we didn't put our chances away. And it was an opportunity, in my opinion, missed. Remember we spoke about last season, we speak about last season every week, the draws that kill you. And we were lucky in a way that some results went for us, but we should have come away with 3 points. Simple as that.
I mean, Vic, the shots on target was something like 17-6. I've got here, but we only got 3 on target. Did we have our shoes on the wrong feet or what?
I think I don't like to call people out, right? And I've already told them I'm going to say this tonight, but I think that it's a telling sign, like the year that we got to Wembley and we had 1 or 2 key players. If they were off the ball, we messed up. Mm-hmm. And I think Windass being off the ball on Saturday threw us massively. I don't think he was bad by any means. I think, in this league, he was still one of the best players in the league, but I don't think he was with it completely. And I think he's got the confidence, and I think there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance. You know, you are the epitome of that, Dan Fudge. But there is, and I think he's had this confidence over the last few weeks, and that's been brilliant. And you know, he's been scoring some incredible goals, putting some incredible crosses in, but it just wasn't going for him on Saturday, was it? It just wasn't happening, no matter what he did. And I don't think that was because he had a poor game or whatever. I just think something wasn't clicking, and I think that if he'd have been on his game, I think the majority of those shots would have been on target, and I think a couple of them would have gone in. The same with Smith. I think Smith headed it miles over the bar in the second half. You know, Gregory had a few that he fluffed. It was just one of those games, but it's like, it wasn't our worst. It wasn't our best. It's nothing to cry about. I know Simon said, obviously, we don't talk about last season, but we did get beaten there last season. They're a banana skin team. And for me, we still came away with 1 point when, to be quite honest, we could have Wednesdayed it for the last 20 minutes. We could have properly Wednesdayed it, and we didn't.
I love that now a noun. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know what I mean? Like, and it got to like the last, was it 5 minutes? And we had like 2 corners, and it was all like, was it 2 corners? Maybe 1 corner and a free kick. I can't really remember. But it was all very, very tense. But I just don't think I felt like we were gonna nick it. But it was one of them games. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got, you know, we'll come on to it, but we've got like Bristol Rovers. You shouldn't call them just Bristol, should you? And then I can't remember who it is now on Saturday. But we've got a couple of games coming up that I'm all right with it. I think I'd rather drop 2 points than drop 3.
I mean, you know, it's quite a half God almighty, glass half full attitude, like, you know what I mean? And you're right. I assume based on this fixture last year, it is an improvement. But like, I mean, John, I saw a reasonable argument on Twitter the other day, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Somebody in true Sheffield Wednesday fashion went, Marvel Johnson's worst football player I've ever bloody seen in a Wednesday shirt. And somebody quite reasonably went, he just had a shit game, pal. Like, he's been great. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah. was he that bad, really? Or, you know, or was it just like Windass, just off his game that day?
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't put Marvin Johnson as one of his better players on the day, but equally I wouldn't put him as one of the worst either. I just think it was, like Vic said, the key players for us weren't always in and around the you know, in the game like they should have been. Like you said, Windass wasn't really at it. Bannon, again, I don't know if you noticed, he kept getting pulled out to the wings again rather than in the middle where we want him, really.
Oh, but let's not forget, you know, we discussed last week that we played what, 4-2-2-2, and we did have those guys moving out to the wings. We had Windass and Bannon moving out, and it worked for us the week before. So obviously, why shouldn't it work again? You know what I mean? Yeah,
no, there is that, and you're not going to. Bannon's never going to stick to wherever you tell him to play anyway, because he always wants to be on the ball. You'll see him pick the ball up from the back line. You'll see him chasing back. You'll see him all over the pitch. That's just Bannon, which is why we love him so much, because he's just the heartbeat of the team, isn't it? Yeah, I think Johnson. I'm never 100% confident when he's playing as a sub back, like a wing back or full back, if you will. I prefer him sort of doing his work across the halfway line and not so much at the back there. But it's like, we all know he's got brilliant crossing ability, Marvin Johnson. And when we signed Smith, I was really hopeful that we'd get that combination of the two. But it's just not happening, is it? You know, like with Smith, rather than he gets 20 odd goals and he's getting regular service up from the wings. And I knew when we signed, it wouldn't quite get the same sort of play out of, you know, we weren't playing quite right. Hopefully there's still time to do that. But I mean, the game should have been over by half time, like Simon said. I mean, so many chances. We should have been 2 or 3-0 up, changes the second half completely. Then they get a goal after 50 odd seconds, and it's just,
took the
wind out of his sails, and it's a different game. Then I do think as well, and you know, people want to knock more for any kind of drop points, or you know, a draw or a loss, but we had effectively 2 forced changes in that game, because Hennigan had to come off injured, and I believe Volks was injured as well, wasn't he? He had to come off. a little bit just after half time as well. So you've got two players that you're forced to take off there, and I just think, Moore can't be at fault for that, can he? He didn't injure him, so.
I mean, to be fair, like, I can't blame the gaffer on these ones. He went back to his regular formation of, what is it, 3-4-1-2, 5-3-3, whatever it is we're playing. He went back to his 5 at the back with the wing backs. And
it's basically a phone number now, isn't it? It's just see what happens. It's just like ringing your mate on house phone.
It's I could probably still tell you some of my mates' old numbers. 01909. You know what I mean? And still remember them. In fact, that's always bugged me, that. The why is it that it's 0114 for Sheffield and then everybody's number is a prefix, but in like Rotherham and Worksop area it went 01909? Like, why do we say 5 numbers in some areas and 4 in the other? It really bugged me.
Sheffield is 01142.
Yeah, but the way that you lot say in Sheffield City Centre is 0114, and then you go 2567. You know what I mean? If for some reason you split up, and I don't know why you do it. I don't know. It must just be a city thing.
We didn't used to have a 2.
I know we didn't used to have a 1 though in Rotherham and the other areas.
Yeah,
it was just...
my mum and dad used to be 01148, and then they put in a 2.
Welcome to Football Chat, ladies and gents. So Blair,
my house phone is 01143.
That's because they ran out of numbers. They did the same in Southampton. Anyway, listen, Blair, let's talk about football. Now, I thought Gregory played well. Now, this is a weird one, actually, because I was on holiday when we played this game, and I was sat there and you're watching the scores come in, so I thought I'll get straight back, I'll watch the full game. And I was quite excited. Watching a football game back is an hard slog. And then by the second half, I got pissed bored and just thought I'll chuck highlights on because this is absolutely painful and I know what the score finishes out. I was even bored watching the bloody highlights. Like, what did you take away from it?
It's so annoying because on reflection, we've got 2 points per game. We've got 30 points out of 15 games. Like, that's what you want. That's how you get promoted. But then the teams above us, I've got a better points return. So it's like, fuck's sake, Wednesday. And then it's also like, it's more impressive that we only scored 1. Because the amount of chances we created is like, how did you only score 1 of those? It's harder to miss the target with some of the chances. I mean, the Bannon one when he fluffed his lines is like, I just feel sorry for him. And then the Twitter meltdown of someone saying, he's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, he's so bad. Like, my God. like it's a bit of an overreaction to someone.
I mean, did you feel that was like a clear-cut chance there? Because it seemed away from him. He had to try and scuff his legs in. It didn't seem like 100%.
It was a clear-cut chance, I think. I think Windas's chances was he almost struck the ball with arrogance. Like he's too good for the league, and it was going over the bar every time.
But that's played out well for him before. I mean, I remember
it has worked out well for him.
It was a beautiful goal where we were 3-0 up at Luton or 2-0 up at Luton and ended up shit in the bed. But the goal he put in that game was absolutely stunning. He kind of turned and chucked it, smashed it top bins.
The most annoying thing for me is, but last week's podcast, we did the biggest happy clapper podcast you could have ever done. Do you know what I mean? We were so positive. And then we go 1-0 up in 10 minutes. We're like, here we go, lads. We're getting promoted. We're going to win the lot. And then second half happened, and you're like, oh, it's fucking Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, this is it. I'm pretty sure when Stevie made that 1-1 prediction, I'm pretty sure it was like, we're just going to Wednesday it up at some point. You know what I mean? We can't win every game. Now, I mean, Simon, do you not agree? I saw you shaking your head a few times.
Bannon should have scored that one. I don't know what he was trying to do. Windass had 2 shots where, to be honest, Windass any other day would have put both in the back of the net. I think the calling out of Bannon is absolutely ridiculous. Every player is allowed an off game, and I don't think he actually had that much of an off game. But the trouble is, as the game went on, he went into Bannon last season, the season before mode, disappearing deep and trying to pick the ball up, and that was an issue. Johnson, he's having a really poor season, in my opinion.
Was he?
Yeah. No, without a doubt, mate. He was poor. He was poor against Cambridge. He was poor on Saturday. He's crossing of the ball. He's passing of the ball. We were really forcing it in the last 10 minutes, and he was down on the wing, down in their half, and he just passed the ball to one of the Lincoln players, and it was a simple ball to pass to Bannon. His decision making is he's taking on players and getting into the right positions is superb. But his final ball has been absolutely shocking this season.
And do you feel that Smith, as John said, Smith is struggling to connect with lack of service?
I actually think Smith's tired, personally. I really do. Honestly, I do. He came back.
I'm a big guy myself, mate. You know what I mean? It takes a lot moving these legs around.
He came back from that injury. He played superbly. At Cambridge, he had a header at the far post, which I think any normal day he would have put away, and it was a really soft header into the keeper's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked tired. And I thought he looked tired. Is it because Gregory's movement is so much far better than his, because Gregory's such a really good player? I just felt he's lacking something at the moment. He doesn't look as sharp as he did when he first, we played him a few games, didn't we, in the Pizza Cup? He played at Bradford and he looked really good there. And the games afterwards where he started scoring, and now he I wouldn't say he looks a shadow of that player, but he does look tired to me. He does tired now, whether he's carrying injury or I don't know. I
think Smith is a target man, isn't he? But we're playing him like a false nine at times, and it's like he's doing all that running, isn't he?
But isn't that Gregory's job?
You would think so, yeah. I just think he's running too much. I know that sounds daft, but he's a target man. You want him in the box. You want balls coming into his strengths, don't you? And he's running the channels. He's on the wing. Which is great teamwork, but probably why he's knackered. I'll tell you,
he'd be good at that. He knew you. He was good with the ball at his feet. He'd love this league. I tell you what, I've said it for 2 seasons now. He'd have loved this league. He'd have sent everybody for a bag of chips. Back me up, Vic. Just nodding. Yes.
No, sorry. Yeah.
That's great for an audio medium. That is.
It's because my freezer's buzzing, so I went on mute.
Well, you should keep it off the drugs because it's fucking buzzing.
No, I agree. I love Smith. I think he grafts so hard. I think he's not bad at it. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes a player might graft and get into too many positions, like your Marvin Johnsons of this season, not last season's Marvin Johnson. This season's, like Simon said, he's dropped off a bit this season. He's still not anywhere near the level he was when we signed him. Like he was atrocious then. But towards the end of last season, I think he was absolutely, unplayable on his day. I think this season he has dropped off a little bit. But I think that sometimes he does too much and he's not qualified enough to be doing that. Whereas I think with Smith, he is. And I think he does run into these positions and he can put a cross in like you wouldn't believe for a striker. Like he really does put a decent cross in. There were balls that were flying about on Saturday that were just, I remember there was one in particular, there was one that was Bannon to Palmer that was unbelievable. It was like he pinpointed that ball to his feet. But there were a couple from Smith as well into the box from the left-hand side that were just ridiculously good. But then like Simon said, and like you've said, Fudge, he's a big guy and all that running at some point is going to hurt.
That's why I keep telling my staff at work why I can't be asked to come out of the office. Like, you know what I mean?
Like it is though, and he's a massive bloke, and he's obviously dogs here. He's very, very skilled at what he does. But he needs to probably slow down a little bit for his own good.
Yeah, for his own good. I'll tell you what, he gets to 41 and he's going to have back issues from, when he tries to sit down. Now, I'll tell you what it is. You've all mentioned it. There's been a few... Oh, God, are you all right, Rosie?
She fell off the chair.
She's a dog. What's she got her own chair for?
She was trying to get up to me and then she fell backwards. Sorry.
All right. So let's go through some of these attempts on goal that we had. I mean, we had Hennigan. Did he hit the post?
Yeah.
We had that one. We had one that was offside that came from some lovely football and all. I want to say, Oh God, where was it?
There was two cleared off the line. One in the first half, one in the second half.
But there was one for, I want to say, Windass to Bannon, who floated a lovely one over the top of the defence, and Gregory came in, and I don't think he scored, but I think that got called back for offside as well. There was obviously the Bannon one, where he fluffed his lines inside the 6-yard box, and fair play to him coming out on Twitter for going, yeah, I've shit the bed on that one, lads. You know what I mean? And then Windass smashed one where he had a lovely angle after one that's coming on the edge of the 18. He smashed one. It just went straight over the middle of the bar, didn't he?
Yeah. He had two like that.
Mm.
So thought, that's back at net, that.
Yeah, usually. And I think that's an interesting point that got brought up earlier about if we've got these players like Windass and Bannon not firing on all cylinders, is that a massive issue? Or are we now going to struggle? You know, to try.
It shouldn't be an issue with the amount of other good players we've got in the league.
It's one game.
It is one game. I mean, overanalyzing it, aren't we? You know,
it's
a draw away.
And battering everybody. We've had one, not even off game. I wouldn't even say it was an off game. We've had one average game. And we're like, now we're going to struggle. Are we going to struggle?
Yeah, we've played poorly, but we've created 24 chances.
I think the problem I have is the fact that we had so many missed chances. We should have buried one of those and put them away. That's the thing. It is I don't want us to be at the end of the season like we did at the end of last season going, fucking hell, if it hadn't been those 2 points drops at Lincoln.
Yeah, because we said to say it was Lincoln last year and all, because like, you know, when we talk about it, Si, if you go back to Wimbledon. If you go back to last season, we'd sit there going, them two at Wimbledon that we lost and that loss at Lincoln, you know what I mean? They were like the poster boys, weren't they?
And I know we're better off than we were last season, but again, we'll have a.
I mean, currently, Plymouth are losing at home to Shrewsbury Town.
What, right now?
Right now.
Oh, I forgot we were playing tonight. Well,
Ipswich are winning away 2-0 at Port Vale, so it is a 3-horse race at the moment. And I can't see that changing anytime soon either.
They're going to slip up, aren't they? At some point, they are going to.
Absolutely,
but
right.
I think we will. I think we'll have a run into the end of the season like we did last year because we've got so much depth now in each position. I think Darren Moore's recruited really well in terms of the positions, and I feel that.
Well, Wilkes haven't got started yet, has he? And no. I mean, why do we chase him all summer? And he's just he's like anonymous.
He's like anonymous. Guy Fawkes mask.
Yeah,
he's hacking your computer.
Yeah, it's like him.
I think one of you guys said 36 games left. Another transfer window to come. Should we just take a step back?
Yeah, it's 31 games, isn't it? Yeah, so
31 games.
Plenty of football to go.
And a transfer window. If we have slipped behind a little bit.
Yeah.
Stop coming in here with your rational bloody opinions, John.
Yeah.
That is not.
I've just looked at the league now, and obviously, like you've just said, Plymouth are losing. So it's 36, 35, 30, and then it's 26. So we've got quite a nice little cushion.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a 4-point cushion, and they're going to be thinking that too. But like I said, they're going to slip up, and we've done our slipping up already. You know, that sort of point dropped, and then there was the game the other week with fucking substitutions that we lost. And there are those games that we've already got out of the way now, and we've played quite a lot of the top sort of teams around us. And as of yet, we've not. Bristol on Wednesday night is an absolute 6-pointer for me.
Well, we've got Bristol Rovers tomorrow, and we've got Burton on Saturday, which I'd expect 6 points from. But I do that with every game, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's the problem in League One. You, on paper, you see Sheffield Wednesday versus Lincoln, you see Wednesday versus Bristol Rovers, like win every game, don't you? But football that doesn't happen in football.
Put it in
so the meltdown gets a bit more bigger, doesn't it? Because you're drawing or losing against a spot.
Saturday was a disappointment because we should have beaten them. We had enough chances and we were wasteful. And a couple of our players should have put chances away that didn't. That's always going to happen. It's going to happen in the future. It's happened in the past, hasn't it? Put it in perspective, Lincoln are actually beating Barnsley 1-0 at the moment as well. And Barnsley are a form team.
So is that what we're saying then?
And Lincoln are unbeaten at home as well, aren't they?
Well, they're away now at Barnsley.
Yeah.
And Barnsley have been playing really well, and they're losing 1-0. And it's the same guy who scored on Saturday.
What's that, Mandu?
Yeah, and by the way, as well, that guy should have been booked at least once for the theatrical diving in the first half. I've never, honestly, it bang in front of us. We were in the bus shelter at the side, and it was something to be proud of. Tom Daly would have been absolutely proud of that dive that he did, and he did it 3 or 4 times. And he should have had at least one booking, if not sending off for his theatrical. And then he scored. And by the way, okay, question mark. Should the keeper have saved it?
Yes,
I think so. Yeah.
I watched it again. It's a shocking attempt.
it looked like
to
that
save the keeper.
meme when that bloke's playing football with his kid and he scores the goal and the kid dives after the ball's gone in the back of the net.
Shocking defense.
It was just it was like Pressman in his latter days, weren't it? Diving after it's gone past him.
Dreadful.
I think other than that kid that you mentioned, Simon, I think the referee, maybe it's because a lot more went in our favour, but I think he had a pretty good game. I think as far as referees in this league, he was all right.
I shared on the group because his statistics were appalling. I think he's given the most red cards and yellow cards out this season, and I thought, oh, shite. And he's actually probably been one of the best referees we've had this season. He was superb. He was really good. Really good.
But then, the Lincoln fan would tell you the complete opposite, wouldn't they? That's
yeah.
Go on, John.
No, I think I agree with Syed. I don't think if you're not noticing referee too much, it's usually because they've had a good game, isn't it? And he didn't seem to pop up on when I was watching it on iFollow. He seemed to let the game flow. It seemed to be quite fair for both sides. But yeah, going back to a large portion of Wednesday fans, we're not going to be happy until we're promoted in March with like 10 games to spare because we just hate being in this league, don't we? And that's just the nature of following our team being a big club in Division 3.
We spoke about this before, though, John, and this is where the sense of, people call it a sense of entitlement being a big club in League One. It's been the same for 20 odd years. The fans are turning up.
Yeah,
they're doing their bit. We're doing our bit. You know what I mean? I've been doing this fucking show for 13 years. We've been doing our bit. The numbers are coming in, and for some reason we've not managed to manifest that loyalty onto the pitch. And so, like, people talk about Newcastle fans. All right, they're a couple of echelons higher than we are, but they're the same. Newcastle, Sunderland, these clubs where the fans are turning out week in, week out, and we're not getting rewarded for our loyalty much.
But
and then
look at Notts Forest. Notts Forest are like carbon copy of us, really.
Yeah.
Size-wise, budget-wise, city-wise, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally made it.
Yeah, they
and
did.
I've been doing some work today. I work in like sports construction now. Well, not doing it, but and they are looking to build on like thousands more seats to their stadium. They're like investing like you wouldn't believe. And I was like, that could be us.
It could be, but it never has been.
No, but it hasn't been for them. They've been down with us for as long as we have, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And they've finally got back there because they've had a good, solid strategy behind them. They've had good, solid sort of backroom management that we seem to finally have now. I don't
know. They went through about 3 or 4 chairmen, didn't they? I think if you spoke to them about that Fawaz that they had, who had a painting commission of him and Brian Clough holding the European trophy that he put up in his office or something like it. Just absolutely just.
We've got golden bloody elephants.
We've got golden elephants. We'll be selling them in shop. Why we not sell them as key rings in shop? You know what I mean?
I think with Forest though, it's like what didn't irk me. It's just like it's always another club's day except Wednesday, isn't it? Because they were the last team along with ourselves and Leeds.
Yep.
The 3 big teams that had been locked out of the Premier League for so long, and then you see Forest get back.
I thought that about us when we got to Wembley the other year. Do you know what I mean? Like
it was our turn.
Yeah,
it's Premier League wise, we're still with, 22 years.
Same as Leicester. I've been to Leicester away not more than 10 years ago, and look at Leicester. So I do feel a bit more positive. My negative, right, is as I've said before, going up to the Championship doesn't bring in massive amounts of money.
That's $7 million, isn't it? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, this squad that we've got now has got to be able to
compete.
not only survive in the championship, but survive in the top half of the championship if we want to be on any sort of bounce. Because going up and then finishing 18th ain't good enough. And that's the bit that worries me.
That's what
Which
Adkins
is
did with
really
Southampton, if I remember rightly. Didn't he have like players like Ricky Lambert and Adam Lallana in League One?
Mm.
And then he just sailed up the leagues back up there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting. I could have that chat all day about where Sheffield Wednesday should sit in the things. But I tell you what, Blair, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. I've still not got a theme tune for it. It's quiz time, ladies and gents. Yes. Yes, we know this is the point where you're all going to be sat screaming at your smart speakers and screaming at your car because we've come up with a quiz that we don't know anything about, and we absolutely test our knowledge on what's going on. Now, this one, I feel, is going to be quite short because it's hard. It's hard. Now, this one has been suggested by Aisha off Twitter. She's been a long time listener to the show for the last Christ knows how many years, and we have a bit of interaction. And she sent me this quiz, and I'll tell you what, it's a good one. It's a good one. So we've got 5 players. We've got 4 players here. I'm going to go in order that you are on my screen. So it's Simon, John, Vic, Blair. Sorry, Blair, you're stuck at the bottom. You came on last. We were sat waiting for you. It's your own fault, pal. Now, are you ready?
Go on.
Players since the year 2000 who have got the same first initial as they have their surname.
Fuck off.
So we're talking alliteration. So, for example, I'll give you one, Derek Dooley, but it's got to be post 2000. Folks.
Oh,
I'll let that sit and resonate with you.
After 2000.
After 2000. So we're talking recent history, Simon. Well back into your 40s. We're going to go into. So, so right.
no,
So
this is quite hard, isn't it?
it is quite hard. I tell you what. When she told me about it, I went, "Geez, I can think of 2."
How many's on the list? 2.
Hang on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Gee up.
Jesus.
Gee up, he says. Gee up. Right, are you ready? Simon, I'm coming to you first.
Fernando Forestieri.
Fernando Forestieri is one. Correcto mundo. John.
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson is there. Vic.
Barry Bannon.
The wee Barry Bannon is there. Blair, you see how you came last there, pal?
Michael Morrison.
Michael Morrison is there. Okay.
I'm done.
That's one each. Thanks a lot for joining us.
I've got another one prepared just in case.
All right. Simon, go on. Give me one.
Oh, no. I can't think of one. I had Barry Bannon and Fernando, and that was me done.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I've got another one.
Oh, go on, Blair.
No, mate, I can't. No, I can't think of any.
All right.
No, sorry.
Simon shit the bed after one. John, what have you got?
Efenakoku.
Efenakoku is on the list. Vic's going to be furious at you for that one.
Oh,
Right.
that was the only other one I got.
Jesus.
Come on, Vic. I've got to hurry, yeah. I want one of them little countdown noises as well, don't I? Dee 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 dee.
No, Brian.
Vic.
Not,
Who?
is it?
No, that's to be in a no. It was worth a go, Vic, but I'm afraid that's you out of the alliteration fun. Blair, what we got, pal? Give me one of your ones you've got in the sleeve.
Marco Matthias.
Marco Matthias is on
Blair.
the list. There he is.
Well
Well
done.
done, play. Well done, Blair. Played. John, back to you.
Leroy Lita.
Leroy
Oh,
Lita is on the
wow.
list.
Good
Yes,
call,
Blair.
John.
That was one of yours, wasn't it, John? Blair.
Fantastic. Yeah, it were. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course it was. Look
done.
at this. I tell you what, this is good, isn't it? It's good. Isn't it? Aisha, you've absolutely stumped some faces here. I've watched this one on YouTube. Come on, Blair. What else you got?
I need some time.
One of them plays for us right now.
Well, you got-
One of
you
them played for
clues,
us
huh?
last season. Oh, all right, fuck off then. I'll stop speaking then.
one of his players was last. I still can't get it.
Yeah. There's some random names on here. One of them, you'll absolutely kick yourself. Synonymous. Have you just put that little thumbs up emoji on there, John? That was nice, that mate. I don't know what you did, but there was a little thumbs up emoji just popped up. Blair, I'm gonna have to hurry you, Blair. Come on now.
Oh bollocks!
Nah, you've shit out.
Nah,
so
I've gone.
yeah,
I've
they
gone.
got it.
I've gone.
Right then, John. That's you on 3. That's you cemented as the winner. Have you got any more to blow us away with?
Well, what since year 2000? Oh gosh. That's not a peak.
Do you want me to give you the
No,
list?
I don't think I have.
Do you want me to give you the list, folks? Are you ready?
Who plays for us now?
Michael Bloody Morrison plays for us. Not Michael Morrison. Mark McGuinness.
Mark
McGuinness
McGuinness.
plays for us right now.
Oh yeah.
Right, so I'll leave the first one out because you'll kick yourselves. But we've got Wee Barry. We got that. We got Brian Barry Murphy, which
what a legend! I was once
Yeah.
behind him in Tesco and he bought loads of water and one ready meal.
I bet you've got a story for most of these. To be fair, Vic.
Was he cleansing?
Wasn't very old.
Cleansing.
We've got Chris Carr, who played for us in 2003, 2004. Yeah, innit? We've got Drissa Diallo.
Oh, Drissa Diallo.
Yeah, we've got Efan Akoku, and then another E. Now I've given you that clue. Can you think of it?
Etienne Assayas.
Etienne Assayas.
Oh,
yeah.
And he listens to us as well. He's going to be
Low rent Reggie Blinker did not make your list. And then you've got double F, you've got Fernando Forestieri. And then in 2014, we had Gary Gardner. In 2014, we also had a youth player that you probably know, Vic, called Hallam Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god.
In 2000 and 2001, we had Jesper Johansson. And then obviously we had JJ. We had Leroy Lita, Marco Matthias, Mark McGuinness, Mark McKeever, who you probably know again, Vic. No, Michael Morrison. A guy who I met down in the South Coast actually was Aguchi Oniyewu.
USA.
And then two from last season, or one from last season was Silaso.
Oh, Silla.
Oh, God.
So macho. And then the one that's going to piss you all off is Alman Abdi.
Oh, he never played for Wednesday.
Did he play for us?
Wednesday?
Did he play for Wednesday? He was
He
there
had
for 3
right-
years. I don't know what he's
He
talking
had
about.
right initials, didn't he? Fucking AA. We're always breaking down.
Shit, John, that's a good gag. That's a solid bloody gag, that is. So apologies to everybody who's now listening, shouting Alman Abdi at the radio. That's just us. Like you could, you know what? I think I've just proved there that none of us have cheated. You know what I mean? We've all, this is actually a proper quiz because it's weird. Because as soon as I go, it's your turn. Your mind goes absolutely blank, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
It's a lot easier when you're hearing it.
If somebody texts it to me when you've got 10 minutes.
I don't know if it's the way my brain works, but I find myself going across positions. So I was like Liam Palmer.
That's what I was doing. That was. I was doing.
Barry Bannon, George Bannon, like I was going through them all, like literally in my head, like moving them like boxes, and I was still shite.
That's Deal or No Deal you're thinking of, that is right there. Right, Vic, you had a thing, so I'm going to come to you for it.
I did. So I was having a conversation at work today, and okay, so basically loads and loads of people over the years have come up to all of us at the match and told us their own little Wednesday week story. So there's a guy who sits on the North Stand. I don't think he ever told me his name, to be fair. But he was telling me that he drives up every week from Portsmouth and he listens to the Wednesday week on his Saturday morning.
Christ.
Either home or away, he listens to the podcast, and that's like
from Portsmouth. He's probably listening to us, Wednesday Till I Die, Al's Americas. Like he's got room for us all, lads. You know what I mean?
So he was telling me that, and then today at work, I found out that there is a lady who has listened to us from the beginning called Bernice, and she listens to us without fail every Friday morning while she does her ironing.
Wow.
Now, with the headphones in, that's like her routine. Like she listens to the podcast. So, hi, Bernice. Hi.
Hi, Bernice. Sorry for the swearing.
Yeah.
Don't put creases in your jeans, Denise.
Yeah.
Jeans don't have creases in. Okay.
So I was thinking, can people message us, like tweet us and let us know their Wednesday week routine? Because I think it's really interesting. Like it might be that you're having a bath, or you might be driving, or you go to the gym and it's like your thing a week, or you do park run or something like that. I know Cleggy listens to us on park run. So when do you listen to the Wednesday week? I just think it's quite a cool idea. Like, it could be someone who lives in like Australia who does it at a completely different time to Bernice doing her ironing. Do you know what I mean? But I just thought it was quite a cool thing. So like, maybe if you tweeted us at TWWcast and let us know, then we can talk about it each week, just what somebody does while they listen to the podcast.
I'll tell you what, there's two there. So there's one.
Brilliant.
My uncle Steve lives in France, just outside Lyon, and he listens to us every week through his telly while he's getting ready for work or something, if I remember rightly. But then I'm pretty sure there's a load of other people that when they're subscribed to us go, is this thing still on? And then probably just deleting it. You know what I mean? So what's your routine? But I tell you what, there was
over the years I've heard so many different stories. Like when we went to the class of '91 thing, we got talking to some.
Well, we met Simon.
Yeah, we got talking to some weirdo who listened to us all the time. But you always get like someone will come up to you, and because obviously we've been around for so long, and don't get me wrong, we're not getting like 500,000 downloads like we did the Wembley season, but we're still getting 2,000 a week. Who the hell are you? Like,
I tell you what, that's weird actually, because there's about 10 people mainly that we interact with on Twitter, and we use that as our main medium to talk to our fans. And it wasn't until we did the lockdown live stuff did I realize that there are people out there that probably don't use Twitter. And I must admit, if you're not using Twitter, fair play, because I tell you what, it gets in your head. But the best thing about it is like you said, when people like closet creeps. You know what I mean? The ones we don't know about, the ones that are listening to it. Because bear in mind as well, there's people out there that, I mean, I'm 42 tomorrow. I'm going to get that in, right? I'm 42 tomorrow. I started this show when I was 20, when I was 28.
Wrinkle.
Yeah, it all comes from the needle. So if I look younger now than what I did when I started this show, when I was 28. So I find that absolutely mental that I've gone through, span 3 decades of my life now. Like I'm like Cher. I love
it. I love that we have people at Camp Bastion that listen, and there are just so many people all over the place. And we don't charge, we don't ask for any sort of Patreons, we don't sell shit shirts or whatever else. We like copyright infringement shirts. We just get on with it, and I find it fascinating. I just like to know what people are doing and where they're up to. So hi to Bernice doing her ironing. Who else is out there?
I love it. I love it.
It's
John,
a really
what was
good
that?
point. I just think it's a really good point what you're saying there, Vic. And it's one of the positive things of modern technology, isn't it? Having a podcast that can reach anyone in the world.
I'm sorry, John. Your internet made you slow down there. Sounded like you had some kind. John, it sounded like you had some kind of stroke there. I don't know what happened.
Why is it that John started talking about technology at the moment?
As you started talking about technology.
The irony.
Yeah, you started to sound like Stephen Hawking. Yeah, you went, are you hearing me, Tom? You know what I mean? Like, all right, Stephen Hawking.
It's great that technology has allowed podcasts to reach like people all over the world who want to listen to us speak about Wednesday, and they can chip in it on themselves under the breath and stuff like that. And, when I would want to talk about Wednesday, to buy the green and read it in off the post, and things like that. So it's just amazing how I've gone slow again, haven't I?
No, you're all right. I tell you what, it was just I was just laughing because
because
you were talking about people reading the green in, and then now we've evolved so much. We're now listening to a spinster that lives with a dog and a bloke that lives 350 miles away. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Listen to that, kids. Yeah, that's what we've got. And Blair, who sounds like a James Acaster tribute. Do you know what I mean? That's the way that life's moved on right now. So
it's us or Alan Biggs.
It's us or Alan Biggs. And he sounds like David Attenborough nowadays, doesn't he? He's like, and so here we are talking about Sheffield Wednesday.
His tweets are so overcomplicated to just say 1-1.
Cryptic Biggs.
What are you all about, mate?
Anyway, let's move on. Listen, does anybody have any other business before I wrap this up, kids?
Well, we've got
shouting then, and I was on mute. I'm like, is anybody listening to me?
Were you just telling us off, and you were macro weren't on?
I was just saying, when I went to Malta, I went to, it's not there anymore, but there used to be a Sheffield Wednesday bar. So I went there 2019 when I caught COVID. Woo! And there was like a group of like 30, 40 Wednesday fans in Malta who got together every single match day, watched an iFollow and whatever else. And every single one of them listened to us. And we've dropped out of the top 250 podcasts in Malta this month.
I will fucking fight somebody. I will make luggage out of their skin. Think of the smell. Well, in fact, Simon was telling us something off air about a bar in Lanzarote, right?
Yeah, the Owl and the Pussycat. So they've got Lanzarote Owls, and there must be probably not 30, 25.
Not 30, 25.
25 locals who go in, plus obviously the holiday makers. I mean, we don't go in every week. And Justin, who runs the bars from Grenoside originally, proper Wednesday eye, and they've got their own polo shirts with Lanzarote Owls on, and it's great. It's great. There's no opposing from Sheffield teams bars there in Porto del Carmen that know of, and it's quite nice because you see the same faces every time, and that's that's good. I don't know whether they listen to the podcast. I'll ask them when.
Well, I tell you what, you need to get on to Justin, and Vic, you need to get in touch with your mates in Malta and start shooting up that Spanish and Maltese bloody podcast lead. Because I tell you what, there are 18 people that listen in India that I get told about every week. So Sanjay and
loads in Dubai, loads in the Far East.
We have loads, mate. We have loads. We've got them all over the world, all in their tens. So yeah, so as Vic says, if you've got any memories you want to share or tell us your Wednesday week routine, I'd be really interested to hear it, because we tend to listen, or because we're subscribed more to Twitter, we tend to get those more on there. But if there's some that you don't normally interact, I'd love to hear about it, because they've been listening to my gravelly old shitty voice for 14 years now. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah, I can share the support group if they need it.
I was so young and enthusiastic, I used to be so much fun. And in fact, I think it was James Marriott said to me, I've witnessed the evolution of Dan Fudge on this show, because like I kept saying to you, my input was just the knob gags. And now I'm hosting the bloody thing, trying not to swear as much. And I'm doing really badly at that. I'm doing really badly. Right, has anybody got any other business before we carry on and do the predictions against Bristol Rovers?
Yes.
Go for Dan Fudge.
2 bits. First bit is the Sheffield Wednesday ladies. I sent you this and you've not included it in your running order.
I think you'll find I bloody did.
Is it coming up?
Mentioned it last week.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
Yeah, should listen.
Another bit is Will Volks. What a man, has now become some sort of patron / massive supporter of Bluebell Wood. He apparently came to Bluebell Wood last time he was in the region, and as soon as he signed back at Wednesday, he started visiting again. He started visiting a family that he got to meet through there, and there's a really, really nice interview with him and Rob Staten that's on the Twitter, and it's just really nice. What a nice man. Obviously we know Barry Bannon does loads with Bluebell Wood because of Shay and everything that Shay does, but I just think it's nice when a kid who has moved around a bit and come back to an area has just gone, oh yeah, that charity, I'm going to pick that up again. You didn't have to. Nobody even knew until they talked about it this time. So I just think that's lovely.
That is amazing. Fair play. And yeah, Bluebell Wood is something that's mega in the area, and I think you have to be subscribed to the area to really know what that place does. You know what I mean? And that's really impressive. Okay, so Bristol Rovers first, Simon. What you thinking? Are we going to smash them 3-0?
No.
All right, what are you saying?
Oh, God.
I write these down now. They now get referenced.
Yeah,
13 years I've been doing this show, and this is the first time I've actually gone.
You should have done a league table to see who got the most.
Joey Barton, manager. Love him or hate him. Yeah, I agree, Vic. Oh man, I think it might be a draw, or which we have seemed to have done is we seem to have, when we played poorly, we've actually have come out and played well. So 1-0 Wednesday.
1-0 Wednesday, John.
They're in pretty decent form, I believe, though they are missing the captain, which could be a big deal for them.
I love that he comes in and knows shit. You know what I mean? He just knows shit.
I think there's going to be goals in this game, and I think we'll just edge it 3-2.
Jesus wept. Got to get 3-2s on. We used to have a game. Me and my mates back home. There was a game on the telly that we sat watching usually on a Sunday. We'd go, has anybody got 3-2s on? Because we found that these games on a Sunday are always ending 3-2. So ergo, get your 3-2s on for a Wednesday night Fudge's birthday Bristol Rovers affair. Vic, what about yourself?
I want to absolutely batter them.
Oh,
I spent a lot of time in Bristol and was a Bristol City aficionado while I was there.
I'm not going to make any references.
Yeah.
You chose the red team.
Hey, Bristol City's a decent setup, to be fair.
I had no choice. It paid the rent. Yeah, so I have a lot of love for Bristol City, which is one why I hate Bristol Rovers. But then I have more. We'll talk about it off air. But yeah, I just want to absolutely batter them. So I want to go 3-0.
3-0 against the Dirty Gas. What about you, Blair?
I just want to make a point, but Port Vale are now 2-2 against Ipswich.
Yeah, I've just said
And
that.
Shrewsbury are now beating Plymouth. Are still beating Plymouth. So that shit point against Lincoln could go a long way. I think Wednesday are going to absolutely destroy them. 3-0. I think they'll come out.
So we will go 1 point off second if we win tomorrow and 2 points off top. So if we'd beaten Lincoln, we would have got
2 points off.
You can say that's right. If you do that, you just drive yourself mad, though, don't you?
Well,
you win every game, you win the league.
There, mate. I'm already there. But yeah,
I've plumped for 2-0, but then we've got Burton at the weekend. We've got 2 home games coming up. Burton at the weekend, Simon. We're not going to record before we get to this one. So give me one for Burton.
3-0 Wednesday.
3-0 Wendy. John? He's going to know shit.
5-0.
5. Jesus, Mary Joseph. Christ. So hang on, in 2 fixtures, you've gone for 10 goals there, John.
Backflash.
Stay tuned, kids, because in Johntown, it's going to be an absolute thriller. What about you, Vic?
So my friend is taking her nephew for his first game. You know that little package that you can buy?
Right.
So
we're going to get a video of him walking out going.
Possibly. I was so cute. But it's cost her £60, I think it is, for his ticket and the first match experience or whatever. 40 quid for his kit, like his full kit, or 50 quid, and then another 20 or 30 for her kit. So it's costing nearly £200.
Sweet child of mine.
For his first game. So I really bloody hope they win.
So is that you saying 20-0? Is that
Yeah, let's go 20-0.
Yeah, 20-0. All right. And Blair?
Yeah, it'll be 3-0 Wednesday again, I think.
3-0 Wednesday. I tell you what, there's apparently here emerging Blair. And I'll go 2-0 again, I think. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to do. Right then, thanks a lot for joining us, folks. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to send in your stories about how you listen to this show because, this is a nice show, this one. It's not like when I'm sat watching the news and it goes, text me in your opinion on this, because I couldn't give a shit what Sue in Margate thinks about Boris Johnson's latest policy already.
Ipswich have scored. It's all gone wrong.
It's all gone to shit. See you later. Thanks a lot.
Boris.
Hey?
Fucking hell. It's as soon as you talk about Boris Johnson, everything goes to shit.
They went 3-2 up before he mentioned Boris, but
yeah, it were coming. It's what made me mention Boris. Anyway, see you later.
The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.